Fuck out of here cause these niggas is soft. Riding the track cause I'm built like a Porsche. You don't want beef, you can catch it like Mars. Don't want me bullets, I'm back on my bullshit. I show you I'm roof, it's about my respect. I'ma step on their neck, nigga line up who next. I'ma give them lessons cause they say that they want. Keeping it blunt, shout out Apollo and Phase on my niggas, what's up? Rope up the trunk and we ready to dump. Sending them shots and we leaving them slump.
Keeping it blunt, baby.
Alright, keeping it blunt, baby.
You already know America and the world what it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and cousin, you already know I gotta give my disclaimer. We're gonna offend somebody. It's keeping it blunt, right?
You know, we wouldn't be keeping it blunt if we didn't, you know?
You already know. Yo, cousin.
So who we got in the building today, man?
Cousin, today's a special day. Today's something we haven't really done at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm super excited. I know the viewers should be super excited. This is gonna be a total different deep dive into something still pertaining to what we all love, but from a totally different perspective. You know what I'm saying? You feeling me, cousin?
Yeah.
So listen,
yeah.
I would love to introduce Mr. Brandon Anderson. He is an MMA referee.
Hey.
He's been doing it for like 3 years now. He's refereed probably about 33 fights. He's an Army veteran, served for about 8 years, and a successful businessman. And you might have maybe potentially seen him refereeing promotions like Cage of Honor, Nemesis Fighting Alliance, Midwest Fight League, Knuckled Up Promotions, and fun fact, his last fight that he refereed was on my son's birthday, May 10th. So welcome. How you doing today, sir?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. How are y'all?
We appreciate you coming out, man.
Very excited to have you, brother. Very excited to have you, man.
How'd you get into refereeing? And so, do you train MMA at all, or?
Not as much anymore. I still train jiu-jitsu, but other than that, I do not.
Okay, because I know as a ref, it helps to have a background in something.
Absolutely. There's definitely some out there that never had a background in fighting or training, but we all get back into the art of some sort because it's always evolving, right? But man, just like a lot of us, got some UFC CDs or DVDs back in the day, loving it, seeing some of the great fights of like Diego Sanchez and Clay Guida, and dude, the rest was history, man. So I was in high school, took my first fight as an amateur when I was 17 years old, fought a 32-year-old man. Looking back, it was absolutely ridiculous, but it worked out. Went to the military, did combatives and stuff there, won a couple tournaments, but wanted to get back into it. And about 3 years ago, I had a life-altering situation, and sometimes you reflect and, man, what are some things that I wish I would have done? This was one of them, somehow to get back into the sport, have great attention to detail. And I'm like, dude, why not be a referee?
Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested.
And St. Louis is a big hotspot for MMA. Just reached out to a couple people and, man, just jumped into a shadowing program and got an opportunity pretty quick, unlike others.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. That is pretty cool. Where did you get licensed through?
Missouri and Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think the hardest part of doing that was?
It's figuring out exactly what to do, because there's no like set, the sport's only been around for 30 years, right? And it keeps evolving, and you don't necessarily know a roadmap to get there. It's not like, hey, you go to school, like you get a degree in X, Y, and Z. Now you are, a referee after training. So it's a lot of word of mouth telling us what we need to do. Some states are different, but I had someone take me under the wing. Tim Lukenhoff, he's the commissioner here in the state of Missouri, but he also was the president of the ABC for like 13 years. So I'm in good hands.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I see you kind of got into it pretty quickly, man. You moved up the ladder pretty quick, because I know a lot of guys, they do 50 to 100 amateur fights before they even touch a pro fight. So how'd you skip the ladder like that?
So, I mean, with my experience, they could see that I knew what I was doing, but we also had a deficit of referees here in the state of Missouri. So, and there's not a lot of people that stick around and want to grind it out because you have to shadow and, you know, go to different events and not get paid for it, right? Some people just don't want to put in that work.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people that want to, maybe they want the limelight or something like that, and they just don't show up to everything. You know, you live in a big state like some of them boys down in Texas, they're driving 8 hours just to get to a fight to shadow.
Yeah.
That takes time.
Yeah, definitely.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, dude.
That's commitment, though.
They do, man. They do. That's one of those states that are pretty difficult, you know, because it's just a big state. It's a lot of people, but a lot of drive time.
Well,
So I haven't. Go ahead.
Go ahead, cousin.
No, I was gonna say I haven't told my cousin yet, so this will be a surprise to him too. But I'm gonna be reffing my first amateur fight on June 29th. I'm getting 3 fights on the card.
Punch or kick range, but Son's coming in bombing on him. Circular punch.
He's got him against him. Andrew is tired here. This is it. Digging deep. This is the epitome of a man digging deep right here.
Oh, and his mouthpiece is hanging out of his mouth.
Mouthpiece is down.
Meaning it's
Oh,
virtually
Andrew wants
worthless.
a break. Andrew wants a break right now.
Now's the time for Son to unload.
Continue pushing him.
Right on. Let's go, man. Happy for you, dude.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. You know, a lot of states will have like an amateur and a pro level. Here in the state of Missouri, they're mixed cards. So that's why I got an opportunity a lot faster than some of the others as well.
So I got to move to Missouri.
Or
That's
maybe
what's
any
up, though.
podcasters over there too.
That's what's up, though, man. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it sounds like from everything you said thus far that you're a fan as well. Is it? And you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm gonna ask it. Has there been moments where you had to fight in your head being biased because you like somebody?
No, due to the fact that there's conflict of interest and stuff that we have to tell that state or whatever. If we've trained with them, we know them, something like that. Now you create relationships just because you're with them every weekend, right? This community is still pretty small and you get to know people, but no, definitely not. Not at all. We try to remove ourselves from situations that there would be any emotional tie to.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm looking to do is I'm looking to, I don't know when, so I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm looking to maybe go to Herb Dean's school over there in Las Vegas. And I was reading on the website, man, that like some referees were getting death threats. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah, man.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and it's usually not. You just try not to entertain it, right? Some people are just upset. I'm in there for a job. I'm there to protect that fighter, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to err on the side of caution. If I made a mistake, I'll man up to it. That's for sure. I'm always getting better. We're always learning. But yeah, I try to ignore it as much as possible.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Like, how do you feel after a controversial stoppage? Like maybe you stop the fight a little early, or maybe let somebody take a couple extra punches that they could have avoided. How do you feel after situations like that?
Personally, I take it pretty hard. I do. And I try to reach out to a lot of other referees. You're talking about Herb Dean. I've never really bounced things off of him, but Kevin McDonald, Blake Grice, Brian Miner, they're all accessible. Rob Hines, you know, one of the granddaddies in the sport when it comes to refereeing. They're all helpful, man. They all have been in the game a long time. It ain't an easy job. It's a thankless job. If you do right, nobody knows. If you do bad, everyone knows, right?
Right.
Dude, they just got a good community of just helping you out. They really do.
Definitely. That's
Now,
what's up.
because you're on the commission, right? You don't really get like all these promotions that you fought with was more like not because you necessarily, like, in other words, like you didn't pick which one you wanted to fight, which is kind of like going through like, hey, they need a ref for this, so you're going to be there type of thing, right?
Correct. Yeah, the state just reaches out and asks if we're available for a certain show. We don't really get details or anything until pretty close.
And his knuckled up promotions, because I haven't heard of that. Is that all bare knuckle?
No, but that's definitely an interesting concept at the moment. I'll be in Indiana this weekend for bare knuckle referee and judge training as well. Gone through that a couple times. They're starting to make that legalized in some states, so you'll see those events. I'm not going to speak out of turn. I don't know exactly what states, but I want to say Kansas. Like they have, bare knuckles even on the shows now. So there'll be like mixed cards.
Nice.
Boxing to kickboxing to MMA, Muay Thai, and bare knuckle. So that's going to be pretty wild.
Sounds like one
Oh shit.
That sounds like one championship almost.
Yeah.
That's dope. I like the when they mix it up like that.
It's just going to blow up and explode, man. Like it just is. Because people love that, man. People love it.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. So
what's your favorite style to ref?
That's what I was gonna. Okay.
Definitely MMA. Definitely MMA. I'm partial to it. I just grew up on the sport, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm traditionalist with it as well. But we have to be an expert in all arts that we do because you never know. Just like I said, there's so many mixed cards, and depending on what state you go to as well, you could be doing amateur, and amateur rule sets are sometimes different as well as pros, right? So
yeah.
You got to stay on your toes, but definitely MMA.
Hell yeah, that's mine too.
So once you move past the shadowing stage, and you have to go out of state, do they help with that, or it's all on you?
It's all on you, man.
Okay.
It's all on you. Okay. I think I've heard some states and stuff will try, but I don't ask for it. I go do as I'm told, and I'll be seen when it's time.
Right.
Definitely. See, that's why you skipped the line, because you got that attitude.
And that's why, like Tim has given me a couple opportunities in the UFC now, right? So like I'm able to see that kind of stuff and talk to Big Dan and Jason and Keith and ask questions. And
Pete Peterson is not a large man, but his no-nonsense approach to refereeing has made him one of the best UFC referees. Peterson is no stranger to martial arts as a former college wrestler, NAGA tournament winner, Muay Thai competitor, and amateur MMA fighter. His extensive background allows him to be a fair and understanding referee who maintains a high standard of officiating. He hardly makes any mistakes and stays out of trouble, except when Dominic Cruz is around.
Dude, it's perfect. Love it.
Yeah, I seen on your Facebook you got a couple of pictures. I seen you had one up there with Anthony Smith and so yeah. Have you gotten to ref in the UFC?
I've not gotten to ref in the UFC. I've gotten to inspecting referee, like going into the cage.
Okay. Yeah, that's still dope.
That's still
dope. Recognition, though, man. It's awesome. I'm blessed, dude.
Do you get to stay cage side after the fight's underway and stuff?
Oh, through the whole time, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool, dude.
Best seat in the house.
Yeah, man.
Best seat in the house.
I had Max Holloway and Arnold Allen. I had that fight too. What was that, a couple years ago?
Ooh.
That's wild, man. That stuff's fun, dude.
That's bucket list for me. Max Holloway's my fave.
Yeah, dude.
Electrifying.
Max Holloway's my fave.
A few moments later.
The stuff you grew up on, right? And you're like, dang, man, that's you. That's cool.
Yeah, it's almost like surreal to be there. Like,
yeah,
definitely. Because I'm a little engulfed in the fight world too. I got a couple of amateur fights under my belt, and like just being there. And I did announcer for the first time a couple weeks ago. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
And just because I got pretty cool with the guy who owns the promotion that I fight for. So now that I'm injured, I'm recovering from meniscus injury.
Fair.
So I'm still showing up to the events and stuff like that. He'll give me whatever job. He's like, you want to announce? You want to commentate? You want to hold a camera? Like, whatever you want to do. So I'm getting my feet wet in there. He's looking out for me, man, giving me some experience.
Nice, man. That's cool.
So what are you more passionate about? Sales and business or like refereeing? Do you see yourself shifting out of one into the other, or?
Dude, that's tough, man. I think why I became a businessman and wanted to work for myself is so I can have the flexibility do what's necessary when a lot of people don't have that ability. You know, maybe you're a firefighter, right? And you're bound to a certain schedule, right? And sometimes you have to say no to a commission. I never wanted to put myself in that situation.
That's right.
So now I don't have to say no.
That's right. Yeah, I like that answer.
It gives you the freedom to do what you really love.
So what is your business? I see you right there.
I have
a couple businesses, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but my main business is a residential construction company. We do roofs, windows, siding, all custom, you know, to the home for the most part, other than roofs, and lifetime warranties with no money down and financing, man.
You can't beat that.
Nah, dude. Most 70% of all Americans don't even have $1,800 in their checking account. So, or their savings account. So for the fact that I can offer financing to a customer, I love it, man. Because they will be able to get that stuff done without me. And I love being able to help people, man. I didn't come from money. I didn't come from that kind of stuff. So it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel that. I definitely can understand that. So if well, what's your favorite fight that you've reffed so far? Like just watching it from a fan perspective, because I know when you're in there, like I've watched it on ref's face when a good punch is delivered or something. You see the like
yeah. Man, I don't think I could really do that. We do so many, man. Like you said 33 or something a little earlier. It's definitely way more than that. I don't know how much is actually like out there or whatever. But man, I love the big boys. I love heavyweight fights, man. I'm not a small referee, so them 135ers and stuff, you know, I got to chase them all around.
Right.
Which was just fun. It's just a different weight class. I love the big boys, seeing those big hits. Man.
Yeah, man. Ain't nothing like a full power heavyweight punch.
Yeah. Like I don't remember
they land clean.
Oh yeah. But then it's also like they don't, right? They don't land super clean. You're like, dang, still drop that guy.
Yeah. Or even whiff one and you're like, shit, I hate, if he would have landed that. Like,
yeah. Like I do remember this one heavyweight fight down at the Cage of Honor in Cape Girardeau. Man, I wish I knew their names, but dude, they rocked each other all 3 rounds. I don't know how it lasted. Like I have no idea. I'm just like, let's go.
So every now and then, and maybe you've experienced this, I don't know, but every now and then you'll see a banger of a fight, and then all of a sudden the guy gets dropped, and then all of a sudden, you know, because he's still in that fight mode and he's just reacting, he might start like wrestling the ref or punching the ref. Has that ever happened to you yet?
Oh yeah, a couple times, man. And it is what it is. You know that there's no malice towards it. That's instinct. That's how they're training. I love that, right? It's no problem. And I'm there to hold them, make sure that they don't. And, hey, it's going to be all right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not as small as some referees, so they're not moving me nearly as easy.
Right.
Yeah, snapping back to reality. Like, hey, bro, it's me.
yeah. I just like say it multiple times. Hey, man, it's over. It's over. It is what it is, though. It happens.
That reminds me of when Tito Ortiz fought Ken Shamrock. And how they got to that fight was he fought someone else, I can't remember his name, from Shamrock's camp, and Shamrock thought he was being mad disrespectful. And in that exchange, Big John McCarthy went over and picked up Tito and just kind of like moved him over. And I was like, hey, you're that big, bro? I didn't know you were that big, bro.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
I get it.
He is, man. He's a big dude. Yeah.
He is a big dude.
So, I heard you saying that you had your first amateur fight at like 17 years old. Did you ever go past that? You ever take it pro?
Nah, man. No, I went to the Army instead, dude. They don't really like that. I know Tim Kennedy did it for a while, right? I don't know his full story, but it's a little bit different when you're in some tier 1 operating, unit. Maybe you have a little bit more flexibility. I'm not for sure. But yeah, there's no way I was going to make a living out of it. Once you also like get to that point, you're like, man, do I really want all of that? And I didn't think I did.
Yeah.
If you're talking about that kind of sport, man, it
consumes your life.
Yeah. And it's not like you're just losing a game, right? You're going to get hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I had to make that decision. No, I was like, nah.
Good on you. You avoided TTE, you know what I'm saying? Still got all your brain cells. And you got the experience too. So, you know, you got kind of best of both worlds.
I do, man. And then you get like the little nuances, right? Where they're up against the cage, sneaking in a little finger, you know, on the cage, you know? You've done that stuff, right? Like
pulling pants.
yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like little tiny headbutts when you're like dirty boxing, a little.
Yeah.
But trust me, I've seen it all, man. Especially like in sparring too. I've seen people try to pull little things that I'm like, come on, bro, like don't do that shit.
Fair. Yeah.
So I feel like people always want to dumb down someone's position. You know, like I remember I used to sell cars. Everybody would always come in and tell me how to do my job. You know, as if they sold cars before, right? And imagine it spreads across every industry. You know what I mean? So, can you explain to the viewers and us even just how alert and how mobile you really have to be in there? Because I mean, you're essentially in the hand. Like I remember this one fighter used to say, it's not my job to not kill you. It's the ref's job to make sure I don't kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like your job is a serious job. So can you explain to them, you know, how alert and how mobile you really have to be in there? I mean, you're really moving around. Like,
yeah, I feel like most of us are already fans, right? We love it. So you absolutely have to fight the urge of not just wanting to watch the fight, right? You're there for a specific reason, and their safety is the number one priority, right? It is. And, you know, there have been deaths, there has been, you know, people that got seriously hurt, and that stuff's scary, right? And anytime we do a training and stuff, we watch stuff like that, right? It's like doing some safety training and you got to watch someone that got their finger cut off, right? Like you see something like that and you're going to be a little bit more alert with it. But some of these guys like Jason Herzog, for example, I mean, he puts in work every time to be alert, and like he's running, don't quote me on this, but I want to say he runs like 7 miles every time before a fight or something. Like he's getting ready to roll, and we get in our little zones too, man. Because you don't want to fanboy over stuff, even though you want to, right? You want to be able to just be there and be locked in. It is different when I go in and be a fan versus going there for a job. That's for sure.
Yeah, because you gotta know when to conduct yourself as a professional. You know what I mean? These guys' lives are in your hands.
100%, man. 100%. And also, like, yes, our safety is our number one priority, but I also want to give that guy a chance, right? Like, I want it to be a good fight. I want the promotion, the fans to get what they paid for as well. Like, I would never put a fighter in jeopardy, but stopping a fight too early, for example, I've made that mistake, and that sucks. It's a crappy feeling, right? That's a horrible feeling. And that can be lasting, right? Like a lot of the top promotions, they want you to be undefeated, right? That's the type of thing. Let's get that guy in here. He's undefeated. So you make that mistake, and that can really affect the trajectory of that kid's career. So I take that to heart too. I'm my own worst critic. I mean, I feel like a lot of us are, but
oh yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely hard on myself. That's for sure.
So
that's a good thing, though.
Yeah,
that is a good thing. Keeps you sharp. So when you're now we're clocked out. We're at home now. Maybe with the wife and kids. I'm not sure if you have a wife and kids, but we're at home now. We're relaxing. You know, we sit back. We're on the couch. We're watching. We got the TV on, and oh look, it's a UFC fight or whatever fight is on. Do you enjoy it from a fan's perspective, or are you sitting there looking at the referee like, ah, man, you missed that or you missed this, or is there even a referee, and you ain't gotta name names if you don't want to, that you just hate to see because you're like, man, his style is whack. He's missing everything.
I won't speak on the latter. We all make mistakes and we always get better. But man, when I get home, I do find myself just still trying to hone the craft. Hey, what's the distance of that guy to that fighter? How should I be that far back? What do I do? I try to psychoanalyze it. But that's just me in that perfectionist mindset of trying to be the best that I can at what I do. And sometimes that ruins the joy of it, right? To be honest. And I think I have became more of a, not necessarily less of a fan, but definitely not watching it as a fan as I used to. That's for sure.
Yeah, you gotta learn to disassociate.
Yeah, man, I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with that.
Yeah, definitely. I could see how that could probably become an issue, especially when it's your life. It's something you're passionate about. You know what I mean? So I definitely get that because when I watch baseball, I used to play baseball. I went really far in little league and high school and stuff like that. And still to this day, when I watch baseball, I'm like, why is that catcher sitting on one knee? Why is he crouched down this way? Because I used to play catcher, so I watch a bunch of little different things, and I still catch myself criticizing why they're doing it like this, and like so I definitely can relate to that.
Definitely have our preferences and stuff. Like I like to use Jason as an example, Jason Herzog a lot. He does a lot of side movements. I'll never forget this. I'll have some very big humility here right now. I'm not in the shape that man is. All right. I'm trying to do these side straddles the whole time like he does. And I'm cramping by the end of the night. I'm like, gosh, bro, like that ain't me. All right. That ain't me. I got to figure out my own thing. I got to figure out my own thing. But we see stuff like that. We see stuff like that for sure.
So who would you say is who you think is the gold standard in your eyes as a referee?
Man, that's tough, dude. That's extremely tough. I think that there are some extremely, extremely good referees that don't necessarily want to be on the big stage anymore. And I'm not saying they're better or worse than, the big ones that are out there all the time, but it's just they have different priorities in their lives. So I think that's extremely hard to say. I really do.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. And that's not a cop-out. It genuinely is. Like a Rob,
I understand.
A Blake Grice, like these guys have tremendous knowledge and they're just so helping. Like I guarantee you from all the referees across the country on how many texts these boys get on the weekends, it's got to be atrocious. It's atrocious, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. But some refs just stay local and stuff and they don't really care about doing some of the big shows anymore and stuff like that. And they're really, really good and have 20, 30 years experience like a Rob Hines.
So I have like kind of like an odd question for you.
All right.
Would you ever consider refereeing a slap event, power slap or anything like that?
Okay. So yes.
Okay.
And I know Mark Smith is the head of that right now.
Probably from a safety perspective, we do a lot of preparation for slap. Very extensive rules. Before every event, I take all the fighters through a really extensive safety and rules meeting. In addition to that, we have the greatest doctors in the world that are, cage side or mat side, however you want to call it. And together we work with that staff. We don't want anyone to take any unnecessary damage. So if someone is not prepared to continue to slap or fight, it's our responsibility to step in. We care about the athletes. We don't want to have any long-term damage or injuries. The sport is going to continue to climb. It just got approved in a couple other states. So we look forward to being a part of that.
I know Kerry and them, they've been doing that as well, but it's still ran by the commission. And it's to us, we look at it, no matter how we feel about the sport or what your certain preferences may be of the sport, yay or nay, it's another art that we have to be a professional in refereeing if we live in that state, right? So I will always hone that craft no matter what my feelings would be against it. Now, I will say, just some of the funniest commentary from competitors that I have ever heard in my life. And I don't know if I can keep a straight face. I'm kidding. I really could. It's funny, and it's funny.
So, cousin, I have one last question. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I got two questions.
Shoot, we got 9 minutes.
All right. So, one question I wanted to ask: have you ever had any altercations with any fighters?
Nah, man. No.
Like, I know some of them they'll question your decision making, or they'll question something you might have did in the fight. Maybe they feel like you should have took a point when you didn't, or something like that. Try to jump down your throat. Never had an experience like that.
No, just small stuff because they're disappointed in the moment, man. They're professionals. Even these amateurs that are high level amateurs, they're professionals. They have that respect, and they've always been good to us, and I'm going to be good to you. But that all comes back to having a good rules meeting. Hey guys. You don't like the decision tonight, we can't change it tonight. So let's talk to the state on Monday, right? And that kind of eliminates that kind of stuff as well. So, they're pretty dang respectful, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And my last question, if you could referee any two, say you owned a time machine, you could go back and grab any two fighters you want from the present, past, whatever, and you could referee them two fight. What two fighters are you reffing?
Does it have to be a plausible fight?
Nah, whatever you want. I'm saying you could pull Leonidas and freaking whoever, you know what I'm saying?
I would say Anderson Silva versus Jose Aldo in their prime.
Okay. That'd be cool.
I just think that would be so electric.
Let's see who's the real king of Brazil.
I just think, dude, they were just so untouchable in their time frame.
Yes,
they were so far advanced, from, where people were. Because some people back in the day were still, training out of their garage, right? Now they got big gyms, and it's kind of, all these amateurs are really, really good now too, right? So that skill gap, I don't think is nearly as wide as it used to be. And man, I just think that would have been a wild, wild one.
Yeah, they both at one point had like 15-year unbeaten streaks, and so that would have been that's a really, really good answer. I like that answer.
I'm a huge like kicking fan too. Like I love especially like if you're on the street, nobody expects a foot to the face, right? If you're not in the sport. And I love that art, and Edson Barboza spinning back kick, like something like that. I think that's beautiful. Those two had some of the best kicks, man. I think that'd be fun.
Hell yeah, definitely, man. I love that answer. That's a really good fight. I like that.
So my last question is for you, Brandon. Can you explain to us what is Freedom Combat Authority?
Yeah, so what that is basically a way for me to create a business. So states and commissions, if they're open to it, will pay a business instead of individual for write-offs and stuff like that. And I think eventually we're going to, probably get into some coaching and stuff down the line, consulting and stuff.
Okay.
It's inevitable, right?
What's up, man?
That's right.
Because there's no direct roadmap for this stuff. You got Herb's school, you got John's school, and those are phenomenal, and they have some of the best instruction in the world. But after you've been doing it 20, 30 years, I want to do the same. I want to give back to the other generations,
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then,
I love that, man.
And before we get out of here, why don't you shout out, just in case someone's down in Missouri, because you're in Missouri.
Yep, St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri, that there is a sales position open. Yeah?
Yeah.
That. If you want to plug that, please feel free.
Yeah, I do. I have some sales positions going on right now. 100% commission only, but I take care of you. Leads provided. You run about 3 appointments a day, and you make 10% of what you sell. So you can make anywhere between 120 grand. If you're not that great, it's about 300 grand.
Oh shit! No,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. Well, cousin. That's it for me. That's all I got. I'm so excited to have you on our show, Brandon. Is that all you have, cousin?
Yes, sir. But real quick, before we get out of here, Mr. Brandon, if you don't mind, just for promotional purposes, could you hit us with a Keeping It Blunt, baby?
Keeping It Blunt, baby.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man.
And we appreciate
you coming out, man. I love your story, man. Respect the hell out of you as a person, as a ref, as a businessman. And we appreciate having you on the show, Doug.
Appreciate it, man.
Is there anybody you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Yeah, I do, man. It's going to be hard to list everybody, so if I forget anyone, I apologize. But first and foremost, Tim Lukenhoff out of Missouri, giving me a lot of direction, been good to me. giving me many opportunities. Dwayne Best, Tim Francis, Zach Tybris, and unfortunately the late Mike England. He's no longer with us, but helped me out tremendously. And then definitely two men that have done a lot of training and stuff with me and mentoring, Rob Hines and Blake Grice, and also Kevin McDonald. I appreciate all of them.
Hey.
Just helping me throughout this process, getting me into the right people, and I'm going to run with it.
Excellent.
Hell yeah, man. That's
well, we look
up,
forward
man.
to having you back on the show at some point if you are willing. We'd love that. And,
sure, man.
Also, too, I don't know if we said it in the beginning. I'd be remiss if I didn't say it, so I'm going to say it now. Thank you for your service, sir. We really appreciate you. Me
Thank you.
Both have family members. You know, his father, his mother, and my father, and his uncle, which is my cousin, who served in the military. So we definitely appreciate you serving for us.
We appreciate them too. Yeah.
And yo, cousin, you think America and the world's tired of hearing our voice?
They might be a little tired of us by now. You know what I'm saying?
All right then. Well,
all right, man. Keep it bland, baby. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, boys. See ya.